What the heck?
I think there's room for Pattinson and Affleck as the two different...
This episode should have gone up a long time ago. Bug, I thought I asked you to put this on YouTube. What do you mean you don't know how to edit video? What do you mean you're just a cat? What do you mean I'm just using you to cover up for the fact that it's taken me more than 3 months to finish this video? Yes, it's true. This should have gone up a long time ago. It was originally recorded way back in August, and I had full intentions of getting it up as a great reaction, but there were some technical difficulties. I tried to do a video with Josh, and the audio did not come out. The video did not work. It was a disaster. I almost didn't put this up, but I figured it was still a good conversation, so why not share it? The way I was able to finally get this to work was by using Josh's audio that was going into my microphone from the iPad. His voice is going to sound very tinny and a little distorted. The audio quality is not great, but you can still hear what we're saying. So if you would like to see what Josh and I think of DC FanDome, our initial reactions to the trailers, the news, all of that, stay tuned because here it is in its entirety. Okay, I'm here with Josh. We've both seen all the things. I literally just saw the Batman trailer like minutes ago, and we're just gonna jump right into it and talk about it.
All right.
I just want to say I could watch that clip of him beating the crap out of that guy just on loop. That was perfect. Like, so much of it was good, but that was a great, scary Batman moment for terrifying criminals where they're like, well, who are you? And then he just pounds that guy into the ground.
Yeah.
I'm vengeance.
Yes.
Yeah. Run away. Run.
Yeah, that's the most talked about thing I've seen on social media is people discussing it's a new twist to the I am Batman, but it's I am vengeance. So, yep. If that doesn't set the tone for what we're gonna see, and he's so raw at being Batman.
Yeah.
Which, again, Matt Reeves has alluded to this is gonna be year 2. So he has been Batman, but he's still making mistakes. He's still not knowing when to hold back when he's beating the crap out of somebody.
Yep.
I mean, really, it's he's young and he's getting the feel for what seems to be a very dark, gruesome Gotham.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this could be like his first big case, and he's got to match up with the Riddler, which I'm assuming that's who we see in the beginning.
That's what I was gonna ask, is who's the bad guy here? And I guess it is the Riddler is the main antagonist, with the clues and the antagonizing, but very different take on the character, but cool, like interesting. And when I saw the pictures of Pattinson before I saw the trailer, and he just looked so worn out and dark, and that's great because so often you get the Bruce Wayne who's like, you know, I'm doing fine, I'm a playboy and I'm cool, and then I become Batman. But this is like a guy who's disturbed and he's feeling it, and you can see that this is like a realistic take on, like, even more so than the Bale version where it seems like he's having a hard time holding it together in his Wayne persona because of how overcome he is with this.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Worn out by the nightlife.
Whew. And then the Nirvana song as the trailer music.
Oh, is that what? I didn't catch that.
Yep, it's Something in the Way, and it's a great song. that like fits lyrically too, about like the vibe and the tone of just the frustration and the confusion, and
interesting.
in the 90s too, because isn't this supposed to take place back a little bit? Supposedly, it's hard to tell if there's like a timeline. Like it's not like Stranger Things where it's like this is the 80s, this is the 90s, but it could easily be any era. Like the fashion was very nondescript. But the only thing I didn't like about the trailer was the question mark for the release date, where it's like, I don't know, the future. It's like, all right,
also playing into the Riddler.
Yep, no, that's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I don't know. Matt Reeves, I have complete faith and trust in him with this. Like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good, man. It's gonna be so good.
I read some excerpts as to what he has said. Was he in the Hall of Heroes or whatever?
I don't know. I watched bits and pieces of the FanDome, but it went on all day and it was kind of hard to catch things. I figured I'll go back and recap and look at like the news, because it's like I watched the Zack Snyder stuff live, but then beyond that I was like, I'll just go back and read the important bits, because the whole virtual convention thing, I think they're still figuring it out. It's a little awkward still. But I don't know, did you watch any of it?
I just saw pictures of Matt Reeves and I think Zoe Kravitz. They were actually there, and Pattinson was virtually there, like talking.
Okay.
But again, those were just pictures. But I did read some comments, and everything Reeves was saying about the character, everybody was just like, yes. Like, this is... If we're going to go somewhere further than Nolan, or if we're going to go somewhere different than Nolan, this is it. And I think my most excited takeaway from all of it is knowing that this is not a part of Snyder's verse. This is not a part of the Joker verse. This is his own thing. Yeah. And if you're doing it, and this is what I've loved about DC so far, is you don't have to do your homework with other Batman movies or anything else to get into this. You could just get right into it as its own thing. And that's exactly what they needed to do. Yeah. It was so dark. Like, literally and figuratively. Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I didn't expect it to be that, like, actually dark. But, woo! I mean, this is the time to do it. Like, this is a post-Joker, post-Logan comic book movie. And they can absolutely go all those places.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and when you think of where Matt Reeves just left off, War for the Planet of the Apes is not a light movie.
No, everything he's done has been heavy, and he's good at it. He's good at balancing heavy without making it just too oppressive.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the only thing that this might have to. The only danger here is that it still needs to be a fun movie. It still needs to be something that you enjoy going. You don't want like Midsummer, the Batman movie. It's like they could it looks intense, but I'm thinking that that's just this first teaser trailer. But like, oh my god, yeah, the Batmobile, everything, and you have been a Pattinson like promoter for a long time now, and he's in everything and he's killing it, and it's like I don't think there's that many people who are doubting him, or there's that many haters for this. I haven't seen anybody really negatively reacting, but if you were doubting at all that he was gonna just blow it out of the park, like this is it. Like there's no doubt he's gonna kill it.
Yeah. There's just the second he shows up in that scene as Batman at the crime scene, it's just so natural.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Everything he does, and the other comment I saw, what the biggest comment I saw from Reeves is he talked about the realism, and it's like we just had the Christopher Nolan, drama trilogy that was, the last big Batman stuff besides Batfleck, but it's like he's getting more real than Nolan.
Like somehow.
Holy smokes, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my first thoughts too. Is like I didn't think that we could go more real than Nolan, but like we've hit this crazy like new noir realism that's just its own thing.
Yeah.
Woo! Batman to Batman. It's time to talk about the Snyder Cut. Do you want to start? What do you think?
I'd say it was pretty much predictable what we would see. A little more close-up of Darkseid, which has me just super giddy and excited. A lot of the stuff, I saw some people complaining that, it's just deleted scenes and altered things. Like, whatever. Like, it's what we're getting is what Snyder is going to put out. And I think you can clearly see there's a different tone with the movie. And especially with the following up to Batman vs. Superman. This is clearly his, what do we call it, the third part in the Superman trilogy.
Yes.
It's clearly, and it seems like I always get confused because Batman vs. Superman is so big, it feels like multiple movies, like Snyder's been doing this for so long, but it's really just Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and that's.
Yep.
So the fact that we get a tiny glimpse of the dream sequence again with the Hall of Justice in shambles.
There's a lot. Like at first it seemed like, okay, this is not really too much different, but then the more it went on, the more I was like, okay, there is some stuff here. And did you hear how long it's going to be?
For 1 hour.
4 hours. That equals 2 2-hour movies. That equals Justice League Part 1, Part 2. That's
pretty much.
I mean, maybe it's not exactly what he was going to do, but this is like... When I heard that, I was like, okay, this really is going to be him going back to telling everything he wanted to do.
Yeah, close to it.
So...
And I'll say this real quick. I know he had a comment recently where he said the reactions to Batman vs. Superman really did alter his thoughts on Justice League. So maybe we did have something bigger and more elaborate, but because of how many people are like, this is so dark, or whatever hit him, he did make some slight adjustments. But it's still going to be way better and way bigger, and his vision continued from Batman vs. Superman.
Oh yeah, just like the way that Steppenwolf looks in this is like really cool compared to what he looks like, and the coloring and everything and the vibe and the tone, it's just like I don't know. There's no way that I'll be disappointed. I feel like there's different levels of happy that I'll be with it, but it does seem like he's really gonna, like, he's doing the Flash stuff, he's adding so much of the Cyborg stuff back in, stuff that we didn't get to see. I don't know, with the stuff with the Wonder Woman and the little girl, I don't remember that at all. Like, was that anything? I don't think so.
No. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's just an alternate saving sequence in the beginning. From
the bank?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it'll be...
Where you could see a contrast in the trailers. I think, like, in the first trailer, it showed a different explosion than what we actually saw.
Yeah, well, I don't think anything actually exploded in the Whedon version. Did anything actually...
You're right.
But
she just threw it up in the air. She threw it up. Like it wasn't... Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited. There was one shot of Superman above a building. Did you catch that? It was like Lois looking up and he was way up there. And it's like, okay, is this bad Superman doing his thing? And like the whole, if I had to guess, I would say the whole sequence with Lois bringing him back down is longer. And it's not just Batman calling her over in a cab and being like, look, it's Lois. And he's like, oh, I'm fine now. It's going to be more of like he gets away. Lois sees him. Way more of like an evolved confrontation situation that's not as just sudden. But...
yeah. And did you see who else was in the Cordenfield this time around?
Yeah. Well, Martha.
His mom.
Yeah. So
back to the rumors that we had heard, what was originally going to be said is, going back to Man of Steel, she directs him the way she did when he was a little boy.
Yes. I'm very excited. It wasn't like you said, it was things that we all kind of knew were coming, like that Flash scene. But seeing Darkseid for sure, and seeing Steppenwolf, and just the vibe and the tone of it, and knowing that it's going to be 4 hours. How long was the Whedon cut? Like 90 minutes?
Just 2 hours. They had to cut it just to 2.
It was 2 hours? Okay. So this is literally twice the amount of footage somehow. Like, that's a lot. Like, usually director's cuts are like an extra 15, 20 minutes. 2 hours!
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like, a lot. So, I don't know.
And he'll be throwing out a lot of Whedon junk.
Right. So this is 2 hours minus the reshoot stuff.
Yeah.
How is it possible that he's not reshooting more for this?
I don't know.
I feel like he is. I feel like they are, and they're just not saying anything about it because
maybe
because he's buddies with everybody, and they would all do it. So yeah,
they all love him.
Which brings me also to the point that you and I have not talked about the fact that Ben Affleck is back as Batman. This is like
for the Flash.
For the Flash. I hope it's more than like a 5-second cameo. I'm expecting it to be a very short, like, well, I'm the Batman in this universe, and then that's it. But still, it still makes me happy that he came back. He's doing it again. He knows that everybody loves him so much as this character. The Snyder Cut is going to rejuvenate that hype. I don't know. I think there's room for Pattinson and Affleck as the two different Batman in these
definitely.
Timelines. He's so good at this version of Batman. So yeah, I'm very pleased. All right, now I would like to ask your opinion on the Wonder Woman trailer. What did you think?
I thought it was amazing. The one thing I was worried about was how they were going to do Cheetah.
Yep.
And I think it looks solid.
Okay.
There's not enough to make any judgment as to whether it looks too awkward or not. It's a tough character to do. I mean, you have to go very just comic booky. You have to have fun with it. And I hope that's what they do in the end result. I hope it's... because the fight sequence that the two of them have is really cool.
Yeah.
My only worry is that they go too nostalgia with 80s stuff.
Okay.
With the Chris Pine wardrobe at the end. Like,
Yep.
But I think it's going to be fun. And again, not to go on too much about how much I love DC compared to Marvel, but can you tell that this is a sequel to the first Wonder Woman movie? I mean, it's so different. It's so, like, there's such a uniqueness to these movies that, they're revisiting her as a little girl. And, I know for you, you're not too fond of, like, origin rehashing and stuff like that, which...
That's okay. This is okay, though. This is okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that because it gives her more depth as a character as to why she's doing whatever she's doing in this storyline. So I'm just intrigued to see how Chris Pine does come back, because it seems kind of weird where it's like, I'm this guy and I'll give you whatever you want.
Yeah.
And he shows up and it's like, what's the catch?
Something's weird, and they didn't give that away, which is probably good because I'm sure that's a big part of the movie. I'm a little concerned. I thought Cheetah looked kind of silly. Like I don't know. I know it's an early trailer. I was down until she was like actual cheetah form, and I was like, okay, because I don't know why I thought they were going to do something a little more grounded and not literally like a fur covered actual cheetah lady. I thought maybe she would have like an altered face, but like still wearing like an outfit, but having like cheetah powers, or just something a little more fitting with like reality. But they went full cheetah lady.
Yeah, straight out.
Yeah, it's like, okay, all right, okay, yeah, okay. So I don't know. I fully trust that team because of how well they did with the first one. But that with like some of like the awkward 80s humor had me a little like, I don't know. We'll see. You know, it wasn't like it just looked very CGE, like the fighting with Cheetah. Very like, for all the other effects that they do that are they're very interesting and grounded and like realistically, not super realism, but they're very stunt based looking. That was clearly everyone's CG in this scene almost, and it's like, it's got that, it was giving me Transformers vibes, kind of like the camera spinning around and like two characters and fighting, and one of them is not a real person, and it's like, you just gotta be careful with that, you know. But it's early, and I'm not judging too hard. But I'm such a fan of real stunts and real camera work and holding the camera and showing things like the John Wick style of like with Pattinson beating the crap out of a guy and the camera just holds on him and it's not swinging or swooping, he's just beating him up, and you're like, oh my, whoa, like it in this Marvel world where everything is CG and everything is fake, it's nice to see a little more realism. It's my only concern, but it's small. It's small. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah,
but
for me, I'll say the biggest takeaway is I'm excited for this for the ladies, for the wives that love it.
Yeah,
this is a superhero movie.
Yeah.
It's Wonder Woman. It's, you know, it's what DC, again, it's an advantage that DC has on Marvel is, you know, Black Widow, sure, that's going to be cool, but it's not Wonder Woman. It's not this empowering Superman-like figure that just, like, owns the screen.
Yeah. And for her stuff is amazing. When she's lassoing the lightning, when she's jumping off of stuff, when she's pushing things, when she's fighting people, all of that is A plus. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be fine. Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can segue. Speaking of Marvel, the DC Marvel guy.
Yes. Yeah.
DC movie. Yeah. How would it? You know, we had the character guide, which revealed. Basically, I was just waiting to see who Idris Elba was going to be. Cause that's all I cared about. I'm like, all right, the rest of the cast, I feel like a lot of people are going to be killed. They're going to like take advantage of the name. Yep. Make full blown kills in this, like early on. So for me, it was like, okay, Bloodsport. Who?
Yep. Yeah, and I think Gunn is going to play with it too, and like the characters you think are going to die might not die right away.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the look of like Polka Dot Man. I love that he threw his brother as the Weasel. I don't know if you got that. But yeah, it looks really fun, and I'll ask you, as the Harley Quinn fan, black and red, did you lose your mind?
Oh my god. Yeah, my reaction was basically me just yelling about how cool Harley Quinn looks. Like, oh my god. So cool. Like that won me over instantly. I was like, amazing look with like the guns and the coat, like yeah, it's so cool. And I'm just so glad to see like another take and not just like the same, like, oh, I've got a bat, you know. It's like, no, because she's going in guns blazing, and it's like, oh, it's freaking amazing. And it's a war movie, apparently.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense because I haven't read all or that many even of the original Suicide Squad comics. But I think there were some where they were basically like dropping them into war zones and just like using them as cannon fodder. So this really does make sense for like that style of story if he's going old school like that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Woo! And Captain Boomerang back.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to see that. Amanda Waller back. Rick Flag back too. I don't know why I forgot or didn't know.
Yeah.
But
and a new look too.
Yeah.
Like his, yellow shirt, very like more chill. Not as the astute soldier. Yeah. I wonder if there will be any like follow up as to his character being different because of Enchantress stuff.
I wonder if she's in it, because I feel like there's going to be secret cameos or references or something. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we really don't know that much more about the story. It was basically just, who are these characters? And it's like, these are the people who are in it. And like, this is the basics of the story. But that's enough. I mean, it'll be great. I mean, how could it not be? And this is really like a passion project for him, where when everything was going down and DC said, you can do whatever you want, he chose this. So I'm super excited to see where he goes with it. And he kept saying stuff like, this is the biggest movie I've made. And it's like bigger than Guardians, because those are big movies. Those are like huge movies. So that's really saying something. Yeah,
but I'll say this. I mean, he got, Michael Rooker to come over with him.
Yeah.
I can't think of other ones, but I know Batista may have a small cameo in this. I read early on. There's going to be some of his guys from Guardians. Well, Sean Gunn, obviously. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're gonna see that, and that shows, again, just like Snyder, how much the cast enjoys working for that director.
Yep.
And one thing I'll touch back on with Harley Quinn, did you hear his comment about her?
No.
He was most excited to write her in this movie.
Okay.
So take that how you will, but the fact that she's back in like actual black and red, the fact that she is looking very Bruce Timm, original look, makes me wonder if he's like a huge fan himself and is like, yeah, I like what Ayer did. I like, what they did in Birds of Prey, but I want to give her actual look.
Yeah, it'll be, he's got a tall order, because now with the animated series, really knocking out, like nailing it. That may be one of the best versions of Harley Quinn. It's like, okay, Gunn, what have you got, And I'm so happy that we've got so many versions of Harley now. It's like,
they're solid. Yeah.
It's so cool. I love that she's one of like the DC characters. And just like Batman, just like Superman, where there's multiple versions, multiple continuities, different takes on her. It's great. I don't know. I love it. I love every version, and I'm so excited to see this one. And she looks so cool. Come on. Like, just I'm waiting for the action figures. It's like, all right, when can I put that on my desk? And I'm like, all right, yes. But, and King Shark too.
Yes. I don't know if I could look at him and watch the Harley Quinn show.
Yeah.
So he doesn't make, wisecracking jokes, just like being the logical person in the situation.
Yep.
I just don't know. I don't know what to think of him if he goes like more of a rampageous, just crazy character compared to his, such thoroughly thought, logical personality from Harley Quinn.
Yes, yeah. And I don't know if you watched the trailer for the Suicide Squad video game, but
No.
he's also in that as one of the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
So King Shark making a comeback in like a bunch of different media and different games, movies, and animated shows. So it's like, all right, why not? He's here, all right.
Yeah.
But was there anything with Shazam besides?
They
announced
the name, Fury of the Gods.
Now, is this Shazam or is this Black Adam?
No, Shazam had a panel and they announced the title of the sequel.
Okay.
Which is Fury of the Gods. But, yes, Black Adam had his bit, which, did you see any of that?
I did not.
Okay.
Is it?
I know you're skeptical about The Rock being
Very skeptical.
villain who should be a hero. No,
Yeah.
It's working out the way you want it to. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
They dropped some pictures of concept art of Hawkman, Cyclone, Atom Smasher, and I forgot who the other one was. But it was Justice Society characters that are probably going to be trying to put Black Adam in his place.
Okay.
Because everything that they describe, because The Rock does like a little narration about his background and everything they describe, he's very anti-hero, heavy on the anti. Like, he gets the power, he abuses it, he's doing the wrong thing, and he thinks he's doing the right thing, but to, viewer perception, he actually is doing the wrong thing. So I don't think this is going to be as much as, like, The Rock was saying early on, like, I've been so looking forward to playing this hero, blah, blah, blah. I think they're going to get it right. I think they're going to get the notion that he's going to start out as this savior to the dark society that he lived in, but by abusing powers and also by the misperception of who he thinks he is, I think we're going to get, Black Adam going full on bad, and by the end of it, whether he gets in, trapped, save it for the next Shazam movie, or I know The Rock has preached about fighting Superman one day, so maybe we're setting that up because Henry Cavill is going to be in other DC projects.
Okay. Is that
he wants to be? He wants to be.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
So why not a Shazam Superman movie where Shazam turns Superman to help him fight Black Adam?
That'd be cool. Yeah, I've never seen The Rock play a bad guy. I feel like he's incapable of taking those roles because he's so, I'm the good guy, I have to be the good guy, that I hope it works out the way that you're saying, because that would be good, and I would love to see him doing something besides his usual I'm the hero shtick that he does, because I don't think he's a bad actor. I just think that he falls into the same stereotypes over and over. I think he likes being that person, so he just takes those roles. But he would be a great villain. I think he would be a better villain than he would a hero, because he's so smug that's what bothers me about him when he does heroic stuff. But that smug, full of himself attitude would be perfect for a bad guy. If it's perfectly for a bad guy, he doesn't have to change anything about the way he acts other than just be a little evil. So, okay, all right. I can see that.
Yeah, check it out.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Right.
And see if it changes your mind.
Maybe. I'm really surprised they didn't drag this out over a week, because they could have done one trailer a day for a week, and then it would have been like a day of talking about Wonder Woman, a day of talking about Suicide Squad, a day of the Batman, where each thing gets its own like hype and everybody discusses it, and then you move on to the next thing. But I just appreciate that they're doing this at all, and that they're giving us something to look forward to in the future, someday, when movies return and we can all go. But it's a good time to be a DC fan, I think.
Yes.
More than ever, I'm so hopeful and excited about their future on every front, and yeah.
I saw a picture somebody posted on Twitter of a SpongeBob picture where Squidward is in his house looking through the blinds, seeing Patrick and SpongeBob like dancing down the street, and the caption was "Marvel fans watching DC fans today."
Yep, that's perfect. Yep. I love that instead of putting things on complete pause, DC is keeping us in the loop. They're letting us know. And you and I have said for years, like, just go dark, adapt stories, and don't worry about what you're doing. Break the continuities. Have your movie over here and your movie over here that are not connected, and they're doing it.
Yes.
They're finally doing it. They're finally doing everything that Marvel's not doing, and it's working out great, and I think it's going to continue to be great for them. Team DC.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially, just taking advantage of the times that we're in. And they probably knew going into this that there would be kinks, that it wasn't going to be the greatest thing in the world, but they had a weekend, so they didn't, they would have most people's attention for the people that aren't working on the weekends, and they would just have this time to dump all their stuff all together, and we have enough content to just like ponder over and think about for weeks and months ahead, where it's like, did you see this in the Wonder Woman trailer? I forgot to mention, like, was that the invisible jet? What were they talking about here? Or, watching that Batman trailer and dissecting everything and be like, wait, did you hear that voice? And, when rewatching it, look for Colin Farrell, because Penguin is apparently in that trailer.
Okay.
He's, and I think Colin Farrell said like he was going to have like a lot of prosthetics. People took a picture of him and did the side by side. It's like, I can't even tell that it's him.
Really?
Yeah. So Penguin is in the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. So like things like that, just revisiting over and over, and just discussing like the future, and who knows how much more concept art will get thrown our way from The Flash or Black Adam.
Yeah.
Because these movies are in production, not in production per se, but they're coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now that this is out, they can just drop stuff. And they can just drop little things. They can throw stuff on Twitter. And that is where they're going to announce the Ayer cut. Right?
And Zack Snyder doing Man of Steel 2.
Yes, we might have to wait until FanDome 2021 for that. But you heard it here first. Flashback to this moment right now when that gets announced a year from now. It'll pop up on the screen because we called it. Yeah. Ayer cut is happening for sure. I guarantee it. It's just, I don't know when they're going to announce it. They can't say anything right now. Can't take the thunder away from the Snyder Cut. You got Suicide Squad, James Gunn's version coming out. But once all that goes past HBO Max, Ayer cut. Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm more skeptical of it only because of how much the Suicide Squad really put a marker out there as its its own thing and moving forward.
Yeah. But
you never know.
But I don't think the Ayer cut would change the continuity too much. I think that if the Gunn Suicide Squad is in continuity with the last Suicide Squad, Ayer cut really only changes Joker stuff. It doesn't change who lives or dies. Amanda Waller's the same. The basic task is the same. The difference would be some Enchantress stuff. But really, it wouldn't break continuity too much. And I feel like they could retroactively, like, post Gunn's Suicide Squad, that could come out, and it would just be like this thing that fits neatly with everything else and doesn't disrupt things too much. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. I just, the way that David Ayer reacts to stuff on Twitter is the thing that makes me think it's going to happen, because he's so supportive of it and he retweets stuff all the time, and instead of just kind of ignoring it and pushing it down, he's always like hyping it. And it reminds me of the way Snyder did, and it took like 4 years for the Snyder cut to happen ish, right? Like 2016.
Was it really that long?
That's what Snyder said on his thing, that he was filming Justice League in 2016, which that sounds like a long time ago, but it's like, well, no, like that kind of tracks. So we all need to have patience. That's the lesson. Patience, and then who knows what could happen. Because a lot of the stuff that we're getting from DC, I never in a million years would have thought we would get. And I'm so happy that we are. Anything else, or is that a wrap, you think?
Yeah, that's a wrap. Yeah, I got it.
That's pretty good. I pre-filmed a thanks for watching thing, so I can cut from that to that.
All right.
I'm gonna stop the recording.
I'm not going to use that outro. I'm going to use this one. If you actually made it here, if you watched the whole thing, first, thank you. Thank you so much. Because that was a long video, and the fact that you stuck through it means a lot to me and Josh. We're so happy to be doing this. It's a ton of fun for us, and I promise we're going to start doing it again. We're working on the technical side of things, and we're going to get this to work, and we're going to be putting up more videos. It will happen. Second, to prove that you made it here, and just because I think this would be fun, in the comments, put down your favorite DC character if it was mashed up with your favorite fruit. So for me, it would be like Strawberry Batman. Yeah, Strawberry Batman, I think. So just write that. Write a combination in the comments with no other context. I'll know what it means. No one else will know what it means. We'll know. Because we made it to the end of the video. Thanks for being cool. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time on A Lot of Critics.